In some cases, simple and straightforward is the right answer. That's the case with the Radioddity X1 FRS HT. The X1 is one of Radioddity's newly released radios in 2025. In this case, the X1 is a family radio service, or FRS radio. FRS radios have a couple of advantages over both GMRS and ham HTs. First, they are license-free. The manufacturer obtains a license for the device, so the operator doesn't need one. What that means to you is that you can have several and just pass them out to your friends or family when radio communications is required. Second, FRS radios come in a variety of price points, so you can get really inexpensive ones to hand over to the kids without getting too upset when one gets broken. As with more expensive radios like the X1, you can get a very nice radio with rugged construction, a high IP score for your outdoor adventures such as camping or fishing or hiking. If you haven't run across the term before, an IP score stands for ingress protection. The higher the number, the higher the protection from water and dust getting into the radio and messing things up. In the case of the X1, it has an IP67 score, which means it can be submerged in up to a meter of water for 30 minutes. That's the 6 number. And it is dust-proof. That's the 7 number. That basically means that the X1 is protected in most outdoor situations. Two quick things as we move into the review. First, Radioddity provided the radios for the review. They don't tell me what to do or say, and the opinions that I share are my own. Second, if you find this video helpful, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel if you haven't already. YouTube tells me that more than half my viewers aren't subscribers. Please help me turn that around by clicking the subscribe button. There are also join and thanks buttons below the video where you can directly support what we do here. I really appreciate it. Now, let's look at a couple of key features I thought were particularly noteworthy. First, as I mentioned already, is the high IP score, and that's a biggie. Next, the radio comes in both 2 radio and 4 radio packs. That makes it easy to get similar radios for your family, club, or neighborhood watch team. Additionally, the radios come with a 2500 milliamp hour battery. That will allow for extended operation without having to recharge the radios every couple of hours. In terms of technology inside the radio, they can be configured to scan the FRS frequencies, listen to NOAA weather information, and assign CT, CSS, or DCS codes to the FRS channels. This function is sometimes referred to as privacy codes. For most folks, they aren't really necessary, but they're available. Another feature is the ability to set the radio to record conversations. You'll notice an orange replay button on the radio's faceplate. Last in this list is a nice color display. It gives you all the information you need without feeling crowded and being overwhelming. As with all radios with this kind of display, you may need to shade it when in bright sunlight. I also noticed in an upcoming video clip the screen looks a little muted. That's because the camera was at a bit of an angle to the screen. In person, it's quite bright, as you can see in this photo. With those key features out of the way, let's take a look at what you'll get in the 2 radio set. So here's the box that the X1 comes in. You're going to get 2 radios with this box. They are FRS radios, as I mentioned, so let's take a look at what you're going to get. First is the X1 user manual, and it really is just kind of a multi-page fold-out kind of thing. And so it has the drawings of the device, what the buttons are. It'll go into what some of the menu items are, what the icons on the screens are, and that kind of thing. And then it describes the buttons on the faceplate, of which there are only just a couple. And then it's got some instructions here in terms of some of the modes that the radio has. Now, one of the things I've noticed as I've played with this is that you can set CTCSS or DCS codes, or privacy codes, if you will, on the radio. However, unlike some radios where you actually get the frequency of the code, so 67 hertz, 71.9 hertz, and so forth listed, here you're going to need to keep track of this, or maybe take a picture of this and put it in your phone, because what you're going to see on the radio is the number 1 for 67 or the number 8 for 88.5. And same thing with the DCS codes, number 7 for DCS code 043 and so forth. So keep in mind that those codes are possible, but you're going to enter them in via a code number instead of the frequency itself. Now, in terms of charging, it comes with a little wall wart with a USB-A and a cable. And like some of the other FRS radios I've gotten, it's got a USB-A on one side and then 2 USB-Cs on the other side, so you can charge both of these radios at the same time with just one cable. The wrist strap is a little different. It comes with a little detachable strap here that you can press the button and take the ring off, and then use this little narrow string to go through the loop on the radio, and then take it off so you don't have this whole thing hanging from the radio all the time, and then just press the button and it'll slide over that and give you a wrist strap that you can use, or you could hang it from a pack strap or anything else for that matter. So that's one of the security features. The other security feature is, of course, the belt clip, and the belt clip is attached to the battery. It comes attached, but you can take it off. It's a little snap-on device that you can slide it off if you're not a fan of belt clips. And then the battery itself is right here. It's a model B25, and it's a 2500 milliamp hour battery. So that's the battery that comes with the radio. So let's mount the battery to the radio and take a look at the radio. So here's the radio. The antenna is attached. FRS radios have to have permanently attached radios. Here on the top, there's a little transmit receive LED and the on-off button right here. On the side is the push to talk. And then there are a couple other side keys here that we'll look at when we turn the power on. And then on this side, it's got a covering for the K1 connector. So if you wanted to connect a programming cable, there's really nothing to program in this, but maybe a speaker mic or a headset mic that would fit in this accessory port here, this K1 connector. It's got a nice screen, the speaker's here, the microphone's right in the middle, and then it only has really a couple of control buttons, the menu, OK, replay, and then you could have up and down to select your channels, and then a lock key here. So that's a quick tour of the radio. Now let's turn the radio on and do a quick power on tour. So let's turn the radio on. You can see that it comes on. It tells you you're on channel 1. There's a battery indicator. And so we just move up and down through the channels. This is the grab-and-go kind of radio. Family services, or the FRS family radio service, so it's really very simple to use. We can go into our menu system here, and there's just a handful of menus. So there's the squelch, CTCSS for transmit, receive CTCSS, and then a couple of other things. They're all listed here. Here we've got the some of the letters are a little different in describing what these things are than what you might be familiar with, but we got the battery indicator, the backlight, dim, BEE is for the beep, whether you like it beeping when you press the keys or not, the Roger beep, busy lockout, things you're used to seeing, VOX, and then we can press this little key and back out of that, and we go back here into our menu. We can also record, and if we want to replay what we recorded, we can press the replay button right here, and then OK is how you set the various choices. So again, we go to menu, squelch, we'll press OK. You can see over here it comes on. We can go up or down, press OK, and then we can either continue up with our menus, or we can press the little key and back out into the main display. So these are really pretty simple radios, as you'd expect with FRS radios. So that's a quick power on tour of the X1. Be sure to leave a comment on what you liked and didn't like during the tour. I'd be especially interested in hearing from you if you already use a Radioddity X1. As we wrap this up, here are a couple of things common to all FRS radios. This might be interesting to you if you're new to this whole idea of personal radios and the FCC's requirements. First, FRS radios use the same channels that GMRS radios do. That means you can talk with others who are using GMRS radios. An FRS radio signal bandwidth is narrower than a GMRS signal, but you'll still be able to understand a GMRS radio transmission and vice versa. Next, FRS radios don't include the GMRS repeater channels. Those channels are reserved for the GMRS radio service. Additionally, FRS radios don't have detachable antennas. While the X1's antenna may look like it would come off, they are permanently attached, so don't break your new radio. And last, FRS radios, like all radios in the UHF frequency range, are line-of-sight radios. That means the person you're talking to has to be within an unobstructed straight line from your radio's antenna. Buildings, hills, and vegetation will all reduce your radio's range. Expect about a mile's worth of range in most circumstances, and sometimes even less. I'm very impressed with the X1 FRS radio. Its rugged construction, IP67 protection score, and handy features like scanning and NOAA weather broadcast reception sets this radio apart from those little blister pack FRS walkie-talkies at the big box variety or sporting goods stores. Don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel. Here's a video I think you'll find useful, as well as my playlist of GMRS and FRS radio videos. Thanks for watching.